Sun Tzu's text on war does not have the quality of exaltation of some European literature on the subject, nor does it appeal to personal heroism. Its somber quality is reflected in the portentous opening of The Art of War. War is a grave affair of the state. It is a place of life and death, a road to survival and extinction, a matter to be pondered carefully. And because the consequences of war are so grave, prudence is the value most to be cherished. A ruler must never mobilize his men out of anger. A general must never engage in battle out of spite. Anger can turn to pleasure, spite can turn to joy. But a nation destroyed cannot be put back together again. A dead man cannot be brought back to life. So the enlightened ruler is prudent, the effective general is cautious. This is the way to keep a nation at peace and an army intact. What should a statesman be prudent about? For Sun Tzu, victory is not simply the triumph of armed forces. Instead, it is the achievement of the ultimate political objectives that the military clash was intended to secure. Far better than challenging the enemy on the field of battle is undermining an enemy's morale or maneuvering him into an unfavorable position from which escape is impossible. Because war is a desperate and complex enterprise, self-knowledge is crucial. Strategy resolves itself into a psychological contest. Ultimate excellence lies not in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. The highest form of warfare is to attack the enemy's strategy itself, the next to attack his alliances, the next to attack armies. The lowest form of war is to attack cities. Siege warfare is a last resort. The skillful strategist defeats the enemy without doing battle, captures the city without laying siege, overthrows the enemy state without protracted war. Ideally, the commander would achieve a position of such dominance that he could avoid battle entirely. Or else he would use arms to deliver a coup de grace after extensive analysis and logistical, diplomatic, and psychological preparation. Thus, Sun Tzu's counsel that the victorious army is victorious first and seeks battle later. The defeated army does battle first and seeks victory later. Because attacks on an opponent's strategy and his alliances involve psychology and perception, Sun Tzu places considerable emphasis on the use of subterfuge and misinformation. When able, he counseled, feign inability. When deploying troops, appear not to be. When near, appear far. When far, appear near. To the commander following Sun Tzu's precepts, a victory achieved indirectly through deception or manipulation is more humane and surely more economical than a triumph by superior force. The Art of War advises the commander to induce his opponent into accomplishing the commander's own aims or force him into a position so impossible that he opts to surrender his army or state unharmed. Perhaps Sun Tzu's most important insight was that in a military or strategic contest, everything is relevant and connected. Weather, terrain, diplomacy, the reports of spies and double agents, supplies and logistics, the balance of forces, historic perceptions, the intangibles of surprise and morale. Each factor influences the others, giving rise to subtle shifts in momentum and relative advantage. There are no isolated events. Hence, the task of a strategist is less to analyze a particular situation than to determine its relationship to the context in which it occurs. No particular constellation is ever static. Any pattern is temporary and in essence evolving. The strategist must capture the direction of that evolution and make it serve his ends. Sun Tzu uses the word shi for that quality, a concept with no direct Western counterpart. In the military context, shi connotes the strategic trend and potential energy of a developing situation, the power inherent in the particular arrangement of elements and its developmental tendency. In the art of war, the word connotes the ever-changing configuration of forces as well as their general trend.